Greetings, my fellow YouTubers. I'm Dole, aka the Big D of Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. Coming on the next to last day of my superhero month. Now, I did have some other things to do, talk about, but I'm rescheduling some. I'll talk about that in my October updates vid, okay? Coming up later in the week. But for now, I'm going to continue. This time, I'm going to review and talk about the Batman theatrical serials. About 4 years after his debut in Detective Comics number 27 in 1939, Batman made his first foray onto the big screen. Yeah, long before we even had Adam West or Michael Keaton or even Christian Bale playing on the big screen. We got a 15-part serial originally produced by Columbia, released to theaters in 1943. Yes, in July of 43. Now, of course, this series turned out to be quite interesting when I first encountered it on Turner Classic Movies a few years back, and I watched most of it, and soon I got to see all of it since I've got that and the follow-up series on the Gotham City Serials 2-disc DVD collection from Mill Creek, but I'll talk about that later. Now, this first series, which was originally supposed to have the Joker in it, because they originally promoted having the Joker in it, but unfortunately, for certain reasons, they just couldn't get him, and so they apparently made the guy who played him, who was to play him, J. Carroll Naish, into a Japanese agent named Dr. Daka. Yes, operating in Gotham City at the height of World War II. Anyway, that's who the Batman takes on. Now playing the title character and Bruce Wayne is Lewis Wilson, Douglas Croft as Richard Grayson, alias Robin. Of course, it's the short name. Let's see. Shirley Patterson as Linda Page, which is Bruce's love interest in this, and the rest is uncredited. The only one that I can know is William Austin, who plays Alfred, Bruce's butler, but he was uncredited, though, as were several others. But even so, I actually thought this was pretty good. Now, when this here series got released on DVD and what have you, when I saw it, I actually liked it, and we get to see sneak peeks of what would be in the next chapter, but unfortunately it didn't get included with chapter 2, though. Give us a look at chapter 3, which I said was okay, but at least this was pretty enjoyable. Now, anyway, Batman becomes aware of what Daka and his gang is up to. Now, Linda asks Batman for his help in finding her uncle, who was abducted by Daka and his crew after he was released from prison. But meanwhile, he plans to steal the city's radium supply to power his invention, a handheld ray gun that can dissolve anything by its powerful beam. So anyway, we do get to see lots of cool stuff in here. I'm not going to try and reveal everything. It's been some time since I last watched these, but I want to watch them sometime. So I apologize for this, but I'm not going to give the whole set away because this is presented in a 15-part serial, because this would take way too long to talk about. Now, it starts out with the electrical brain and then goes to the end with the doom of the rising sun. Anyway, I absolutely enjoyed this. And, well, The Bat Cave was pretty cool. Its entrance was right through a grandfather clock, which was pretty cool in a way. Anyway, let me see. Also, another thing is they didn't. This was on a low budget, so they didn't provide a Batmobile in this either. Unfortunately, that's another thing. Still, they used. Let me see. Oh yeah. So they used a 1939 Cadillac Series 61 convertible, and Alfred was the chauffeur. So whenever whenever Ver, Bruce and Dick were either in the civilian or Batman and Robin roles. Anyway, it is driven top up when it's the Batmobile and top down when it's Bruce's car. Anyway, that's how this goes. Now, there is a solo DVD set, and I saw on Amazon. It's pretty reasonable. It's about $20. I saw the Mill Creek release I have, but it's a lot more, almost $40. But I think you can find it for cheaper if you go to your dollar store if they've got it. Okay. And I do think the first serial of Batman's not too bad. Now, about 6 years later, when Batman turned 10 in the comics, Columbia released another serial known as Batman and Robin in May of 1949, also featuring 15 chapters. The cast included Robert Lowry as Batman, Johnny Duncan, not to be confused with the country singer, that would be big later on, as Robin, Jane Addams as Vicky Vale, who of course would be best known for that character played by Kim Basinger in Tim Burton's Batman movie, which came out 40 years later. Lyle Talbot as Commissioner Gordon, who actually appears in this. But unfortunately, there's no Alfred in this one, though. This time, they meet a strange hooded character called the Wizard. And he uses an electrical device which controls cars and desire to set challenges for the dynamic duo, whose identity remains a mystery throughout until the end. We meet other characters including Professor Hamill, who I thought was Wizard at first, but I had it all wrong. But however, I ain't telling you who it is. If you're a Batman fan, if you want to see some of this, I'd say check this out. I ain't gonna tell you who it is. You're gonna have to watch the serial, okay? Oh, wait a minute. Scratch that. I made a mistake. Alfred was in this a few times. He was played by a fellow named Eric Wilton, but like the Alfred in the first Batman serial, he was uncredited. Forgive me, everyone. But anyway, and then there's also another supporting character, George Offerman Jr., as Vicky's brother, Jimmy. But of course, he was also uncredited. Now, I also got to catch this on Turner Classic Movies. I've seen about all of them, and then again on that Gotham City serial set. It begins with Batman takes over and then ends with Batman victorious. Now, of course, we do get to see all the previews of it after the cliffhanger. And the announcer always says, don't fail to see the next chapter at this theater next week. Yeah, it still has the same lines like what they use in the theaters all days. But anyway, now you can find the Batman Robin set for a pretty reasonable price alone, the original Sony release. But again, forget buying the Gotham City serials on Amazon though. It's pretty pricey. It's almost $40. I checked. Now, however, there is a little bit more of a cheaper one with a But however, it has the two Batman serials along with the Shadow theatrical serials. But anyway, that's all I'm going to say about this. I absolutely think the Batman and the Batman and Robin theatrical serials from the 1940s were pretty good. Now, Columbia would also do Superman as well, but I have never seen those, unfortunately. So I probably won't be talking about those. But anyway, if you've seen these before, let me know what you thought about them in the comments section. But if you haven't, I'd highly recommend you check them out, as long as you're a Batman fan, okay? These may not have actual villains from the comics, but we still get the Bat, though, okay? Anyway, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe to my channel. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.